Do you feel, Rosa, that this movement has been a success?
It has we have made many improvements from way back there when we had legally enforced racial segregation, but we still have many challenges to face.
I am composer-conductor Mark Camphouse. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to share some thoughts with you about my most frequently performed work entitled A Movement for Rosa, honoring civil rights heroine Rosa Parks. This piece has an important Florida connection in that it was commissioned by the Florida Bandmasters Association in 1992 and premiered in January 1993 by the University of Florida Symphonic Band at the Florida Music Educators Association Convention in Tampa. Rosa Parks was arrested on December 1, 1955, for refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a segregated Montgomery, Alabama city bus. Her single act of courage had a major impact on sparking the modern civil rights movement in America. The word movement in the title has an important double meaning. Mrs. Parks was known as the mother of the modern civil rights movement, and its other meaning, as in a movement to a musical composition, seemed very appropriate as a title. I wish I could take credit for the title, but actually, as I recall, it was my wife who suggested the title for this piece. A Movement for Rosa is the first in a trilogy of works I have composed honoring great African Americans. The second, Homage to the Dream, honors Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and the third, Valor and Remembrance, honors U.S. Navy Mess Attendant Second Class Doris Miller, the first African American recipient of the Navy Cross for Valor for his heroic actions on December 7, 1941, at Pearl Harbor. The work is in three contrasting sections. The first evokes Rosa's early years, from her birth in 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama, to her marriage to Raymond Parks in 1932. Some very important musical symbolism occurs at the very beginning. I intentionally chose to not have the entire ensemble or an entire section of the ensemble play at the very beginning. Rather, I wanted only one person, a lone instrument, to me the most feminine instrument in the band, the flute, to play. This choice underscores the significance that one person from a modest background and circumstances, having the courage to do what is right, can make a positive difference for our country. Section 2 portrays the years of racial strife in Montgomery and the quest for social equality. You will hear some foreshadowing of the We Shall Overcome hymn in these first two sections. The third section is one of quiet strength and serenity. The We Shall Overcome hymn is heard in its entirety near the end. Rather than concluding the piece with a warm and fuzzy Hollywood ending, I chose to have the final measures serve as an ominous reminder of racism's lingering presence in 21st century American society. My wife and I had the honor of spending the better part of a day with Mrs. Parks in April 1994. A morning press conference, a lovely dinner, and a live performance of my work honoring her. My wife sat next to me on my left, and Mrs. Parks was seated next to me on my right. During dinner, I remember asking Mrs. Parks how she felt race relations in America were going. She said, "Mark, we have made a lot of progress in some ways, but we still have a long way to go." How true. Clearly, Rosa Parks was an important and unique American patriot and possessed great dignity and courage. The late Michigan Congressman John Conyers once aptly stated, "Rosa Parks moved civil rights issues from the back of the bus to the front of America's conscience." I hope you will find my music being performed by Tim Yantz and the excellent symphonic winds of Southwest Florida to be meaningful. Thank you.